Today we will take a look at the case of 16-year-old Selena Not Afraid of Bighorn, Montana, who went missing in 2020 under suspicious circumstances and was found a month later, frozen to death merely a mile from where she went missing. Native Americans comprise approximately 7% of Montana's population, yet they account for, on average, 26% of the state's active missing persons cases. The same applies across many other states. In the US and Canada, thousands of Native women and girls are reported missing every year. Most of them are either never found or found murdered, or found being exploited by human traffickers in the sex and organ industries. Needless to say, in addition to the fact that North American natives have been nearly wiped out since the Europeans invaded and being colonized on the continent of North America, the remaining descendants of these native tribes are mostly living on reserves, in poverty, and face unspeakable systematic discrimination. Stay tuned for details of Selena Not Afraid's disappearance and death. In addition, a close look of other tragedies that hit her family in the previous years, which are probably connected to Selena's mysterious case. The family of Selena Shelley Faye Not Afraid has been affected by consecutive harrowing, heartbreaking tragedies, including a suicide, a fatal police shooting, and murder before the 16-year-old Selena went missing and was found frozen to the ground in January 2020. One can only imagine how the family felt after losing 4 of their children in the span of 6 years. Needless to say, it is something that we cannot comprehend. The first heartbreaking tragedy to strike the family was in 2014, when Selena's twin sister, Zoe Not Afraid, died by suicide. Zoe did not suffer from any mental illness, but did complain of bullying at the school. She was described as a sweet, silly, fun-loving girl by everyone who knew her. Zoe was a 6th grader at Riverside Middle School when she died. Her father, Leroy Not Afraid, insisted at the time that the school bullying led to Zoe's death. An investigation was launched. However, investigators conducted that they did not find any evidence of bullying. This tragedy hit Selena hard and put her on a path towards activism against not just school bullying of Native children, but also against discrimination against Natives in general. Only a few years passed when another tragedy hit the family and Selena hard. This time, Selena's brother Preston was shot to death 17 times by the police. On the evening of November 18, 2017, 24-year-old Preston was involved in an altercation with some of his associates in the town of Billings. The police were altered by callers who alleged that he sort of rammed his F-150 truck into another truck that belongs to someone he knew after a disagreement over something that was never announced. Preston was in distress and fled the scene, which led to a pursuit by the police. Eventually, the police found him around 11:15 p.m., passed out on the steering wheel of his truck in a parking lot located on the 400 block of Bunting Street in Billings South Side. They screamed for him to exit the truck, but he was unresponsive because of some reason. He had passed out on the steering wheel. Multiple officers then proceeded to spray him with pepper spray, which led Preston to wake up rattled and in pain. Blinded by the powerful pepper spray and unaware of what was happening around him, he reversed his truck and midly hit a police car that was right behind him, which he probably never saw with all the pepper spray in his face and in his car. At least 5 police officers then began spraying him with bullets. A total of 74 bullets were shot at Preston in the span of 5 seconds. 17 hit him directly. He died instantly. To this day, the native community and his family insist that it was an unjustifiable killing. An investigation was launched and 5 officers were suspended, but later reinstated. This led Selena and her family to become more determined in fighting against discrimination, bullying, and harassment of natives. They were also fighting for answers about the endless number of native women and girls who were going missing all the time in the area, especially on Highway I-90, which had been known as the Second Highway of Tears. The first Highway of Tears is located in north of Montana in Canada, and it is called that for the same reasons. For Selena and her family, the tragedies did not end there. Less than a year later, Selena's 22-year-old sister, Tristan Gray, was murdered on July 28, 2018, around 3:09 a.m. in a still unsolved hit-and-run. Tristan's body was found laying in the eastbound lane near the airport on Highway 3 in Billings, Montana. Her case had gone cold as the authorities failed in finding any leads. All they found were black skid marks from vehicles' tires near where the body was found. 2 vehicles of interest were seen leaving the scene. One was a white 2000s model Yukon or suburban-style vehicle, and the other a mid-1980s Chevy truck that was dark in color and was possibly towing a trailer. No suspects have been named, and Tristan's murder remains unsolved to this day. According to Selena's aunt Cheryl Horn, the person who hit Tristan got out of the car and looked at her body before escaping the scene. No evidence was provided though. Selena and her family always insisted that Tristan was targeted and murdered. Tristan's death shattered Selena and her family even more, and the community railed around them. Activism became their way of life in search of justice and the truth. But not only did they never reach their goal, nor got closure and justice, but another tragedy hit them. Selena was simply next on the dark list of destiny, and in 2020, she went missing and was found later, frozen to death. The case surrounding the disappearance and death of Selena Not Afraid is quite confusing and contradictory. Everything about the case and investigation is quite suspicious. On December 31st, 2019, Selena and a group of friends were invited by 20-year-old Deandra Pittman for a New Year's party at her family's country home in Hardin. Selena was 16 years old, typical teenager, and thus went to the party along with a few friends, including a young native girl called Arlana. The party was wild to say the least. Alcohol was served, and it spilled all the way until the afternoon of January 1st, 2020. Almost everyone at the party was in their 20s, while Selena and Arlana were only 16. Selena and her young native female friend Arlana, along with another 4 male friends whose identities have not been released, decided to head home to Billings around 1:30 p.m. after the party was over. But their van broke down midway between Hardin and Billings, near the rest stop on Highway I-90 around 2 p.m. They all left the van and waited as one of the 4 males tried to fix it. He succeeded to fix the van but decided to leave Selena and the other girl at the rest stop because he thought the van would likely break down again. He also promised them that he would send his mother to pick them up as soon as he reaches Billings. According to many people, there was a video that shows two of the males who were in with Selena in the van engaged in an argument at the rest stop. Others say that they were actually throwing punches at one another. None of this was ever confirmed. However, this might explain why the driver decided to leave them at the rest stop and send his mother to pick them up, as he might have feared them and from the other two males that were fighting. It is important to point out here the identities of the four males in the white van that were transporting Selena and Arlana were not released by the authorities nor mentioned in the news. Now, Selena and Arlana were allegedly left under normal circumstances, waiting alone at the rest stop on Highway I-90. The van's owner mother did eventually show up, but did not find the girls there. She searched around and found Arlana hiding in a nearby ditch. The girl seemed to be completely confused, and with scratches on her legs, she also was not wearing shoes. Arlana said that she cannot remember what happened, nor does she know where Selena is. Soon, Selena's family was informed that she was missing, and they immediately called the police and went out to search for her. A woman came forward later and said that she saw Selena running in the fields towards the forest. She also claimed that Selena asked her to go with her, but she declined. Search dogs, horses, ATVs, helicopters, and drones were used in the search. Many volunteered in the search as people in the area, her friends, classmates, teachers, and family. The search quickly expanded, and the authorities such as the Crow Tribe Police, the Billings Police, the Montana Highway Patrol, and even the FBI got involved in a rather large and intensive scale. Selena's family and members of her clan, the Crow Tribe, even camped near where she went missing, hoping that she will reappear. But days went by, and there was no sign of her, and many strange stories surfaced. Some speculated that she was probably abducted, and the police even revealed that there was a green Subaru Forester with Wyoming plates in the parking lot at the time that Selena went missing. The search even expanded to neighboring states, but without any success. What happened next was quite disturbing. On January 20th, 2020, 20 days after Selena's disappearance, her body was found in the same field she was running, about a mile from the rest stop. This turned everything upside down, because that area was the focus by the search of the people, dogs, helicopters, and even drones. But she was not found. So how come her body mysteriously reappeared 20 days later in the same location and magically without any signs of even bruises? According to the state's coroner, she died from hypothermia. Selena's autopsy report was revealed on February 24th. It said that the cause of her death was hypothermia and marked her death as accidental. They said that she had no wounds, no injuries, no marks, nothing that would have shown signs of foul play. The investigation did not stop there, however. The case soon went cold due to the lack of leads and evidence. According to experts, the fact that many Native women and even children go missing in such a large area that extends well into Canada means that there are complex and secret investigations taking place by the FBI and the Canadian RCMP aimed at tracking organized criminal organizations that operate in the larger area who are involved in serious drug and human trafficking activities. Such large and often national criminal organizations are known for exploiting native reserves for all sorts of criminal activities, including the production and trafficking of drugs, and you name it. Because these reserves are massive, remote, sparsely populated, and have their own laws and rules. and also their own rather weak and poor police forces. Thus, we can only conclude that many members of the local authorities in this large area are also on the payroll of these criminal organizations, and hence, almost all of these cases go cold, and investigations by higher authorities are sabotaged from the inside. Finally, the fact that Selena was found 20 days later, uninjured and frozen to death merely a mile from where she was missing, means she was indeed kidnapped and was supposed to be used in the sex industry or the lucrative organs trafficking industry by one of the criminal organizations operating in the region, but was placed back near where she went missing, or rather kidnapped, because the heat from the intense activities by the authorities was felt by the criminals who probably had operations within the area and did not want to sabotage their illicit operations because of one missing girl. Please keep in mind that this last part is merely speculative and there is no evidence to support it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and ring the bell to get notified every time we upload a new video.